Guns, the dutiful protector, the deadly weapons, and most notably, one of the most debated and important issues facing the U.S. government today. So important, in fact, that it seems like it's one of the only things that people talk about.
Hi, our names are Madison Pizzoni,
Michael Weiss,
and Sadie Wong. And in our hometown of Columbia, Maryland, it was easy to forget about the issues of gun violence because the big stories felt so far away. But the truth is, you don't have to travel far to feel its effects.
Just 1 year ago, on January 25th, there was a devastating shooting at the local Columbia Mall, which resulted with 4 people injured and with the deaths of 2 shop clerks plus the shooter himself. Many local families were affected by this tragic event. For some, this had a direct impact on them and their families.
So my mother-in-law was taking my daughter, who was 18 months old, to the mall. They were just, I think, at the play area, and then they wandered down towards the fountain, and that's when they heard an announcement that everyone needed to take shelter in the stores, and they ended up in the Express store.
Suddenly, the threat of gun violence became a terrifying reality, and the importance of gun control and gun safety became evident to us and our community.
I wanted to be here today to simply state that we're all in this together and that every single life in our state is needed. And sadly, at the outset of this year, we have lost far too many lives to violent crime. And the tragedies that unfolded here over the weekend reminded us that in places all around our state, that all of us are human, therefore all of us are vulnerable.
While this shook the entire community, it only scratches the surface. Only a short 30 minutes away is Baltimore City, where gun violence is a part of daily life. The summer of 2013 being reclaimed as the Summer of the Gun for Baltimore residents, in which 189 innocent people died at the hand of gun violence. Fortunately, even though gun debates tend to be extremely heated, there are many sensible and comprehensive solutions that can be implemented. Many come from Baltimore itself, by Daniel Webster, the director of Johns Hopkins Center for Gun Policy and Research.
Higher standards, more accountability, and smart application of technology to reduce gun violence. What we should do is we should prohibit gun ownership if you've had multiple convictions for any offense involving violence, alcohol abuse, or drugs, if you've had a restraining order for domestic violence, or if you've committed an offense as a juvenile, a serious offense as a juvenile. Now these prohibitions don't need to be lifelong. People and circumstances change. Release public information about the safety records of gun dealers.
Luckily, in 2013, Maryland state government passed the Firearms Safety Act that mandated background checks, strict training, gave police strong authority over gun dealers, prohibits gun magazines with more than 10 bullets, and prohibits 45 dangerous models of assault weapons. As these provisions have made our community safer, there is still much more to be done. Even with our state in mind, this problem goes deeper than just Maryland and our community. We all know the sobering stories of Sandy Hook, Connecticut, Aurora, Colorado, Wisconsin, and the list goes on and on. This is an obstacle of which we as a country must overcome to strive for a safer nation.
The need for a federal ban has never been greater.
The country may be on the path towards safety. Recently, the assault weapons ban was passed by Congress. This became law in 2013.
The bill bans the sale, transfer, importation, and manufacture of 157 specifically named semi-automatic assault weapons.
Nationwide, 49.6% of all mass shootings were done with a semi-automatic handgun, which is what the Firearms Safety Act and the assault weapons ban tries to prevent. And recently, the amount of mass shootings have lessened a great amount in Maryland.
An important piece of legislation to help keep weapons of war off America's streets.
30,000 people are killed by guns in America every year, and 100,000 people are injured, leaving the United States as having the highest rate of firearm deaths among 25 other high-income countries.
So what can we learn from other nations like Australia and England that have gone through crises like ours?
In 1996, following a massacre, Australia's Conservative government enforced a national buyback of semi-automatic weapons, while also heavily regulating the purchase and storage of other firearms. The result was dramatically reduced levels of gun violence.
There are many factors that do contribute to the unnecessary violence in our nation and community. It is impertinent to explore all areas that may be contributing to this deadly predicament. While tighter gun control has helped stop gun violence in other nations, we must also consider the rights of the law-abiding citizens whose right to bear arms should not be infringed. However, above all, calm conversation must commence to try to solve this deadly problem, because if there is a way to lower gun violence, and there is, it must be done for the safety of everyone.
We have endured far too many of these tragedies in the last few years.